Talk about artwork in CSS. You guys remember when you were learning Sass, Matt showed you that one page that said like "Bam say" or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was like some text written out, and it was like all done in CSS, and we're all like, "Ooh." So yeah, that's like artwork in CSS, and this is sort of a thing that people do, and for the most part, it's done using pseudo-selectors in CSS. I would like to slack out a couple more examples of CSS art, if you will. So I'm going to do that right now. If frickin' QuickTime will stop monopolizing my CPU. Okay, here we go. Oh. Oh. Okay, so there are two. Take a look at those. And then I will slack out my personal favorite as well. So take a couple of minutes to just look at those. CSS FPS, like first-person shooter?
That's
Serious? What? What? Okay, I'll have to look at that later. Okay, so now that you've had a chance to play around with it, what do you guys think? I mean, I think it's pretty amazing, personally. But why, so as cool as this is, why might it be sort of discouraged to put fancy CSS art in a web page? Hey, yeah, that's exactly it. It takes a really long ass time to make it. I mean, people totally do, as you can see. People make this thing, like this fully functioning puzzle, which is ridiculous. I have no idea how that works. They make this beautiful raindrop. They make this beautiful George Bush. Yeah, I mean, people do really cool stuff. There's like this whole sort of subgenre of art, which is just people making ridiculous stuff with CSS. But it does take a really long time, and it can kind of drag down your browser's performance too. Like a page that has a whole bunch of CSS on it, especially responsive stuff. Like sometimes you'll notice if you're dragging around the size of your window, when you release your window, when you stop dragging, the browser sort of hangs for a while. And that's because in order to calculate how wide everything should be when you're resizing things, there is a lot of math going on underneath the surface that the browser is doing. And so CSS, I mean, like just background colors and stuff, that's not going to take up any memory at all. But doing really fancy stuff can sort of bog things down a little bit. All that said, it is really, really cool. And it's a really good way to learn how to do stuff in CSS. So, you all are going to make some CSS artwork now, and it's going to be the flag of the United States, and you're going to make it in CSS. So, this is the warm-up. I'm going to slack out the link to it. It's done using a table. And there's not really a way to do CSS artwork and still be like semantically correct. So roll with me on this. That's another reason why CSS artwork is something where you need to be sure you know what you're doing, because HTML semantics are the most important thing in the world. But I provided the HTML for this flag. What you need to do is provide the CSS. Now, this is going to be CSS you probably haven't done before. And you're also not allowed to touch the HTML. Only the CSS, and there are no classes, no IDs, nothing like that for you to rely on. So what I want you to do is A, Google it, and B, when you're, write down what it is that you Google. What did you look up to find what CSS you should use? So I'm going to Slack that out right now, the link to this repo. This isn't something you're turning in, just clone it on down and play around with it. And then when you're done, we'll talk about it. So take 10 minutes for that.